And we're live and recording.
Good afternoon.
We have, I just see Megan from Oakland, California.
Yeah.
I have been to Oakland several times in my life, Megan. I used to have he's long deceased, but I had an uncle that lived in Alameda.
Alameda.
And then you go across the bridge and you're in Oakland.
Aha.
So we visited there. And Miriam, we know Miriam.
She's been on before. She's done the loops with us.
Yes. Oh, there's Ann is on.
And I see Ann. Hello, Ann. And Matt is on.
Oh, yep, there he is. Yep, see him. I mean, Ken, maybe. I don't know.
And he was on, he chatted in before.
There's other people on. Yeah, I can look at the list.
Yeah.
Well, why? Oh, Paul's on.
Oh, okay.
And somebody with lettering that I cannot read, like Czechoslovakia or something. I mean, it's like
Austin.
I just really has a C on the front on the last name.
Yes, she can hear us. That's nice.
Miriam, Matt, Austin is on. Leslie's on. Melinda and Manon. So everybody, if you can chime in, I'll say I haven't done that yet.
Oh yeah.
Hello from Maine. We got some. Paul. We got some snow here overnight, which is good. We needed snow.
You said that yesterday, Kevin. I think you brought the snow.
That was good.
Yep.
We needed snow. The little critters up here.
Tama.
Yeah. The little critters up here need a blanket of snow.
Yep.
No good for them to be running without a blanket of snow. So.
Just pull it right over them.
And we're in Maine is totally set up for snow. 4 inches of snow is nothing. I'm with Tina, but not in VA. What do you mean? You can't be with her and not there at the same time.
You must be.
You must be virtually with her. Because you got snow in Massachusetts. So you got some down that way too.
We didn't get any snow. We got nothing. We got mud now.
No, we were only supposed to get an inch, and we got 4, which is good.
Snow built character. That's right.
Yeah.
And snowmen.
Up in Maine, well, we always have fun. Whenever we get about 10 inches or a foot, everybody say, yeah, just to Dustin.
Yep.
Just to Dustin. Mainers love to say that.
So, yeah, we're getting along.
We're almost there.
105.
Hey, folks, we got to do.
Look down below. We have a new call to action today.
We are hawking the
relational frame theory course.
It's a course. It's a 4-course thing, and I've added because, and I can even show it to you.
Oh yeah.
So we have an RFT matrix.
Can you see that, folks? Kevin, you look a little fuzzy to me right now. So.
Oh, that happens. You look fuzzy sometimes too.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying when you went to show.
Well, you hold up yours. You just made one.
Yeah, but I made it on a little white. I did it on a sticky. I ain't gonna be.
Oh, you didn't make it on a big.
I didn't do it on that. Yeah, but I will.
If I hold it real still, it might clear out. I can do better, you know. Well, no, I didn't. I don't think I put all the RFT stuff. But I'll look. Yeah, I didn't get my arrows in.
Yeah.
For the RFT, so on my slide. So we'll wait. But anyway, it's cool. You'll learn that if you sign up for the course. And you also, the BACB crowd gets 4 of them.
4 BCBA CEUs.
This is BACB.
Yeah.
I didn't type that. I copied and pasted Tina's thing. Maybe it's
good, Tina. Board analyst.
Behavioral analyst. Thank you, Tina. See, we knew you were all knowing. So.
All right, Kevin. I think this is what I remember it looking like. Can you see it?
Oh, that's it. Pretty well. Well, yeah. And then you put, it's not toward and away. No.
Oh, no. It's right. Sorry.
Erase that. No.
Sorry. Yeah.
This is the RFT matrix. It's context, and then below the line, I put a versive on the left and appetitive.
Right. I knew I forgot the other one. Okay, versive. And all right, so here it is, folks. The latest iteration. There. How's that look now, Kevin?
That's there. There you go. Yeah, that's what we'll be learning. Yeah. Perfect.
There you go, folks.
Actually, I created that diagram years ago. Phil's my witness.
Yeah.
I just forgot to name it the RFT matrix.
He just had it waiting in the wings, folks. Just waiting for it to be trotted out. So, hey, we're at 106, Kevin. So let's see if somebody...
Does anybody here want to come on and do the 2-loop warm-up?
Right. So all you got... Melinda says yes.
Melinda wants to do it?
All right. And I can do whiteboard if you want, Melinda. So...
Melinda, why can't...
Is she there?
Oh, that's because I didn't have the right thing clicked. That's
okay.
Why. Now I can see. There is Melinda. Okay, here she comes. She's saying, no, I misunderstood. She didn't want it.
Okay.
She was having an anxiety attack.
She had some lower left stuff showing up.
She had a whole load of lower
Melinda
left.
does not. Yeah, we got you. Okay, anybody else?
Right there, does not show up.
Yeah.
In the lower left.
Oh, it's a relief. She's got relief.
See, that's relief. That view is relief. We're running a...
She just did an away move. Got
we're running a live example here. Oh, well, nobody wants to do it. That's okay.
Takers today,
but all you folks in the black belt class, ninja class, if you're in the class...
Tina says she'll do it.
Tina says she'll do it. Oh, hell, she's in it. Okay, that's easy.
Easy peasy promotion.
There she is. And you're going to do the board for her?
Yeah, I'll do the board.
Yeah, you do the board for her. Hello,
hey
Tina. So you're going to have Phil do the board for you?
I'll do the board.
Okay.
Okay. Phil's big. There he is.
There I am with my board.
Yep.
Phil? Board.
All right, Tina.
Hello.
Take her away.
I would like to show you my point of view in the process that I use called the ACT matrix. So is it okay if I ask you guys some questions and Phil writes down your answers? Is that okay?
Oh, Miriam says yes.
Cool. Okay. So the very first question that we start with in that lower right quadrant is, who is important to you? And this is where you can use the chat and tell us who's important to you. I will start
That's what I was going
with my family. That's the answer I was going.
Yes, Melinda had the early yes.
Yes. And Melinda says family. I said family.
Wife,
Miriam says my parents.
Parents. Good.
Co-workers and pets.
All right. Co-workers. Pets.
And students. Megan says my students.
Students.
Matrix Talk says goats.
Goats.
Miriam says clients.
I have 2 goats.
Neville and Dumbledore.
Yep.
Dumbledore.
In that movie. Awesome.
Okay.
So from here, we can pop over to that lower left quadrant and talk about what are some of the hard, uncomfortable thoughts and feelings that come up for us or for humans in general as we go about our days. What are the hard, yucky things that come up for us? Like fear.
There we go. We got some fear.
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
Shame.
Shame. Ooh, shame.
Tiredness.
Oh, yeah. Tired.
There you go, Phil. I gave you a new one.
Consternation.
Yeah. That's an Oklahoma word.
Matt says resentment. Well, he said resent. I'm going to add resentment.
Resent.
That's a good one. I'm going to add frustration.
Oh, okay. Let's put some frustration up there.
Cool.
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelm. And
There you go.
isolation.
I got you another one, Phil.
Discombobulated.
Hold on now. Hold on.
You're making Phil write long words today.
Discombobulated. Woohoo. Oh.
Kevin's all out of sorts today.
I let it all run together there at the end. Discombobulated.
Nice. All right. And from here, we can pop to that upper left box. And when we're in the top two boxes of the matrix, we're talking about behaviors. So what are some things that we do? What are behaviors that we engage in or that humans in general do to move away from or find relief from the yucky stuff?
I'm going with running.
Kevin says, scratch my head.
That goes with discombobulated.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Oh, wait, but hold on. Discombobulated. Gotta get that right down there. All right, there we go. I did it.
I added yell and complain.
Yell and complain.
Oh, yeah. Procrastinate. Good idea.
Procrastinate and put things off. Stare out the window.
Yay.
Hey, all right, there you go. Stare.
Phone scroll.
Phone scroll.
Ear. Eat. Oh.
Eat. Yeah.
Ear was.
Wasn't ear we move for Van Gogh?
There we go.
There you go. Cool. That's a good list.
Yeah.
There is.
And from here, we can pop over to that top right box and talk about what are the things that we do or that we could do or that humans in general do with the intent to move closer to who or what's important. Matrix Talk says talk. Miriam says FaceTime.
FaceTime.
Feed the pets and the family. And yeah,
Feed.
people and animals like to be fed. Go for happy hour.
Ooh, happy hour is nice.
Happy hour.
There you go. Still popular. Wear a mask.
Wear a mask. Communicate and visit. Make time for dinner together.
Oh, good idea.
Laugh together. Take walks together.
Laugh, walk, play.
Tell jokes.
Tell a joke.
Awesome.
All right.
And now Phil is going to draw a circle in the middle
I sure am.
and write the word notice.
Just like that, Tina.
That looks good.
Okay.
And I wonder if in the next day or the next week, as we go about our time as human beings, if we might have the opportunity to notice the important stuff and the hard stuff and the away and the toward. We just might have the opportunity to notice those things. We got lots of yeses and for sure.
Yours. All right.
Cool.
Okay.
So we're doing some noticing. All right. Now Phil's going to get out another slide.
Much like the first slide.
So when we're working with a couple or a group of people, or we're in that group of people, then we can also do what's called the prosocial or the shared purpose matrix. And here, instead of asking who is important to you, we ask, what is our shared purpose? So what is a shared purpose that people who are working together might have? Or what's our shared purpose today? Today's title is Settling the Virtual Classroom with the ACT Matrix. So what did we all come here for today? I'm going to put practice the matrix.
Get the kids under control. Whoa, rascally kids. Get the kids under.
And Matrix Talk says settling. Matt says expanding knowledge. Well, Matrix Talk was discombobulated and scratching their head. So
well, they're settled now. They're settled.
We're going to settle that discombobulation. You can go pet your goats instead of scratch your head. Expand knowledge.
Practice.
Cool.
Anything else?
Connect with each other. What's a shared purpose that a couple might have? Raising babies. That's what I'll put. Engage
Yay,
others.
raise the babies.
Nice.
Raise.
Keep the babies alive. Yeah.
Good. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Anne says shared expectations, learn better virtual teaching strategies, communication from Paul.
Communication.
They're all great.
Wow. We have filled that up.
Yep. Cool. So from here, we can move over to that lower left box, and we are still talking about hard, uncomfortable, yucky thoughts and feelings. And this time we're talking about social hard stuff. So as we're working in groups or as a couple, what's some of the social yucky stuff that comes up when you think about working together to settle the virtual classroom
Fear
or
of failure.
and feeling judged? Impatience, says Paul.
Oh, here's one.
Frustration with technology. Where to start?
Mm.
Fear of loss of control. Ego and imposter syndrome.
Technology.
Lack of
Yes.
trust. Woohoo.
Lack of trust.
Yep.
Oh, I got one.
Too much trust.
You rascal.
I like mutual entailment.
Yeah.
We've been talking.
Kruger, the DK effect.
Hey, betcha.
Wait, I don't know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is.
People think they know a whole lot more than they do.
Yeah. I am the
Oh.
smartest person in the room.
I see.
The Dunning-Kruger is where you study people, and invariably you interview people, and they think they're just brilliant about something.
Yeah. Like Wobegon, where all the kids are above average, you know?
The opposite of
It's the
imposter
opposite,
syndrome.
right? It's the opposite of imposter. I
Uh-huh.
know everything.
So like 3-year-olds
Yeah. There you go.
And teenagers, too.
and teenagers.
Teenagers.
3-year-olds and teenagers. Awesome. All right. So from here, we can move up to that upper left box and talk about social away behaviors. So what are the things that we do or we should do? Paul's shouting
Paul
at
already
people.
said shout. Yay.
Shouting it out.
What else?
What else you got?
What are other social
got
away moves? Leave.
Leave.
Eye roll.
Roll the eyeballs. Roll
Turn
eyes.
off webcam. Yay. Yep.
Yeah, turn off
Turn
the
off the
cam.
webcam.
Subtle form of leaving.
Yep.
Off
The phone. Yep.
Check the phone.
We haven't put doodle in a while.
This face.
Give this face.
Doodle the face.
Clean up the room.
Yeah, open more browsers. That's right. Open more browsers.
We're all good at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, guys are practiced.
We've been.
All right. So from here, we can move to that top right box and talk about some social toward behavior. So what are some things that we do or might do with the intent to get closer to our shared purpose of settling, listening?
Well,
Show respect and try it out.
We're going to go back with communicate. Communicate.
Practice
Show
and ask
respect.
questions. Compromise.
Ask. Compromise. Oh, here's one. I got one.
Volunteer.
I got a more complicated one.
Create a task list.
Is it like discombobulate?
No,
Task list.
simple. Just the task list.
Create a
Don't
list.
judge and overwhelm with advice. Affirm. Reflective listening.
See, we know this pretty good too.
Yep,
Yeah.
we got
We've done this. All right, so now one step at a time. Phil's going to draw a circle in the middle of that. And do you think that in the next week or so, we might have the opportunity to notice a shared purpose and notice social hard stuff and social away moves and social towards moves? Lots of Paul and matrix talk, and Austin say yes.
Noticing already,
Yeah.
Miriam says.
You think Neville and Dumbledore will have the opportunity to notice?
Yes.
Yeah, they're always noticing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. That was fun.
Cool.
That was way fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's only 11 seats left for RFT training.
All right.
That's sort of why we put it up there. So you guys, if you want a seat, you better grab it. Because we've sold like 20 or something.
Yeah.
Getting on
Like
up there.
hotcakes.
Yeah, going like, oh, there's a say I got you doing Okie.
Well, that's the disco boobalate, Kevin. I think just
Oh,
for the hotcakes.
All right. Well,
Good job. Yes, excellent
Thanks.
job. Oh,
see
okay.
you soon. I'm leaving.
Oh, you're leaving.
Leaving.
Bye.
That's
Bye.
it. She's out of here.
Oh, I guess I should make myself. Oh, I don't. Well, I'll make myself bigger because
Yeah.
we're going to talk a little bit now.
There we go.
I don't want to make it focus. Why did I do that? I forget the control. There we go. And
Okay.
Tina is still, yeah, she's still here. She's just not on screen. So after doing those two loops, how does everyone feel? Famous question. How do you feel
Now that you've done those two loops,
after doing those two loops?
Austin says great.
says, great. Right.
Anybody else?
How about compare it lighter?
Lighter.
Lighter. Okay, lighter is nice. Thank you, Melinda, because I was going to ask to notice the difference between maybe how you felt a little earlier
When
you
you
know,
log it
before
in versus
and then versus after Tina got done with the two loops. And Melinda says lighter. That's a comparison. That's why I know that. So less overwhelmed. There we go. Even more so. Anybody else?
What else you noticing out there? More confident.
More confident. Whoa, wow.
Ooh,
That's impressive.
yeah.
I mean, I
Except
will
that
go-
Marion says.
I will go in. I feel, I don't know, more motivated,
Yeah,
more at ease,
more engaged is kind of
more engaged, right? More at ease.
curious now.
A little more curiosity, a little bit more on the edge of my seat now.
Yep, leaning.
Leaning in now. Okay. So why would I ask all of you that are chatting? And of course, this is being recorded, so anybody who's listening to the recording will know that my friends is settling.
It's as simple as
So
that.
the title has already been done.
Yeah.
Because the purpose of the two loops, numero uno, is settling, getting people settled in to things. So let's say we're going to do a virtual classroom. So that's what we're
Why not?
talking about. So maybe you start this way, but you start just like that, just like what Tina did.
Like
the whole
we did.
shooting match. Do the whole thing. So imagine you take a bunch of students and they yuck it up and stuff, but nevertheless you stick with it and they go through and you get the shared purpose. They have a good old time talking about away moves and farting around and having a good time. Phil and I have done this kind of stuff. Phil's done a bunch of it.
Just a few times.
And so that. Okay. So that's one way of starting. Here, I'll give you another one.
Yeah.
You ready? Has everybody gotten your homework done?
Really?
How's that? How you like that?
Oh. Have you turned in your assignments in the Google Docs?
I went for the classic homework word. I used it on purpose, but right. That would be an example. I'm thinking of a what? Right. We all do. I mean, we all do. It's like, that word homework is
I would
one
not
of
just be
the
thinking about them. I'd be doing them.
homework is one sticky word.
Inflexible, Paul says.
Like even if you got your homework done, you
Yeah.
still feel bad.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Well, did I do my homework?
Yeah, we've all had that. Did I do it? Oh yeah, I did. Wow.
Yeah, don't look at it.
Oh, and then the other thing. Oh crap. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can add to it.
Austin's feeling
Oh,
bad for the
great.
other
So
one.
all of you who've got it done, no problem. I'll have it graded by this afternoon.
Yeah. Whoa.
Okay, that's examples of not settling a classroom.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not settling. That's the opposite. If you thought of going in, and you'll oftentimes hear Phil and I talk about horses because, well, we like horses and they're easy to visualize. And if you've got several sort of skittish, nervous horses in a round pen, they're called a round pen, and they're stomping around, and you walk in there, and let's say you start just cracking a whip and yelling at them, what's going to happen?
Anybody? What's that horse going to do?
They'll try. Remember, they're in a round pen, so they're just going to go round and round.
Yeah.
They're
Not
going
be
to
settled.
not be
Yeah,
settled.
that's it. Right.
That's exactly it, Matt. They're not going to settle. They're won't settle for you. So your task, if you're going into a round pen with nervous horses, skittish horses, well, you want to go in there quiet, settle and use your stuff. Not that you're a horse person, but do your stuff to settle them. Well, horse whisperer, exactly. But okay. So that crack and whip thing I just referred to as horses, that's the word homework.
Yeah.
Rack.
Pop quiz.
Damn. That'll kill them. Use homework and pop quiz in the same sentence.
Hand in your homework because we're going to have a pop quiz.
Oh.
My camera's going off. Open up the browsers.
Well, that's funny. But you see, that's not settling. That's riling everybody up. That's present, or you'll have to present right now. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there's Melinda says, and we got her on the thing of, do you want to present right now? And she goes, and takes off. So, but anyway, yeah, that's not settling the classroom. And so it's really important, and it's why we stress walking in to most any situation where there's a good chance that people need to settle in, yourself included, by the way. You ask who's important to you, and you start a conversation. Well, first we do it. The way we do it is we first ask permission. Like, hey, is it okay if I use this point of view that I use? And everybody goes, yeah. Like, great. Let's start the conversation by talking about who's important to everybody. Personally, my wife's important to me. Anybody got somebody who's important to you? And people will always answer. They literally will always answer. And you'll start a conversation about who's important to them. That's the polar opposite of asking about homework. That's going to settle people and get people going. Now, of course, we've got work to do, which includes, yucky stuff showing up, and we're all going to have the urges to do away moves, and we're going to need to be doing toward stuff to get stuff done and all that. But so you're going to give them that whole package. But so that's settling. So settling a virtual classroom is no different than settling a live classroom. It's just a little different because you're having to do the matrix, either with holding up one of your whiteboards.
There, you can have it behind you like I did here.
Bill's got one up behind him. We've got some.
You could use the whiteboard on Zoom or whatever.
On Zoom, you could use the Zoom whiteboard. There's more than one way to do that. But we do In an actual classroom, we ever get back to the actual classrooms, you can put a permanent matrix up in the classroom.
Yep, on the wall.
And
Right here.
Phil knows of several
That's what we did in my program. They were up in every
teachers
class.
that just had it up all the time.
Yep.
And whenever, in that way, you don't absolutely have to every single time go through it.
No.
But if things start getting a little bit wonky, you can go, oh, let's review what our shared purpose is. Boom, and you can
And now
take
we're into
through, and they'll settle right back down for you.
Right.
And so it's a fun process to work that with. So we're not saying you always walk in and present the matrix 2 loops to the same group over and over again.
No,
You can play around with the frequency.
wouldn't be necessary, right?
Right. But the first time you're going to meet with somebody, you would want to.
You want to show them.
And Phil and I, it's a case of we are going to be thinking about the matrix while we are working with people.
Right.
So it's just fair for us to let them know.
Yeah. It's called informed consent.
Informed consent. I need to tell you.
Before we get started, I got to show you how I work.
Right. I want to have this diagram is imprinted on my brain.
Yeah.
And as I talk to you, I'm going to be analyzing things, looking at things
looking at it from this
point of view. And so it's just a good idea to show them. And then they go, oh, okay. Nobody minds. Now they know what to do. And of course, now you can invite them to look at things from the same point of view. And if you're asking, when you start with a one person or a couple or a group, do you always do 2 loops? And almost invariably, yes, we do both loops.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Right. The reason being is you just get both loops out of the way.
Yeah.
They're done. They're all.
So you've set up your play box.
Right. The whole, exactly. Your whole play box, everything is all nicely set up for you. So if a shared purpose kind of topic pops up, you can go, oh yeah, that sounds like a shared purpose. Yeah. And maybe somebody might say jealousy. Like, that sounds like
stuff.
Right. That's social. That sounds like, well, what does, and then of course you can ask the question, what does that sound like?
There's another way to go.
Sound like, and I go, oh yeah. And somebody will finally guess, social jealousy or whatever. And then you'll be off to the races and you'll have them sorting. And that settles folks down.
And that's another level.
Right. Another level of settling. So, and don't just blow us off on the horses thing, because that's how we think.
Yep.
It really is. If we're walking into a place, we're going to have our heads down, settling folks. That's how we do it. And it's also why we are really not afraid to go into some pretty contentious.
It allows you to walk into a lot of dicey situations.
A lot of dicey situations. And we're not talking guns and knives.
No, you're not going into dangerous
situations. As far as emotional content, people that are really, revved up, we're fine with going in and settling them down. But we use this. It's no different than what Tina just did.
Right.
It's the same thing. So you get settling practice every single time, but we wanted to give you that frame to look at things from, that you really are learning to settle. And so and it's the same. You might walk up to a pen of horses and look in, and they may be just really big, violent horses that are kicking each other and rearing up and, hitting and even coming over to the fence and rearing up and striking at you. But don't go in there. Don't do that. Don't do that. That'd be crazy. That's sort of the guns and knives I was talking about. But if they're just a usual old skittish looking bunch of horses and they're whinnying a lot and they're sort of running around and stomping their feet and this and that, it's fine. If you know what you're doing, you can go in there and settle them down. And if you're a true horse whisperer, well, you can take on the really mean ones. But I'm not going there.
That's for the horse whisperers.
I'll let them do that. But well, for one, they would go in on a horse. So at that point, you really need to go in on a horse because you want to be up at their level. But now I'm getting into horse stuff. So, but it's still settling. It's always settling. We're always wanting to settle an audience in. So, or one person we're working with, or two, or many. But and you can do it with virtual classrooms. We have people doing it. It's absolutely. Well, Tina just did it with you folks.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure this is one version of a virtual classroom.
Paul says I have it all the time. Yes.
Right. So whether you're doing Crowdcast or Zoomcast or whatever cast,
it's a classroom.
They're virtual classrooms,
right?
And you settle folks.
Yeah.
And it's handy because later on, when things get unsettled, because that's what people do, you can. We have a choice. I mean, maybe it's just fine to let people romp around for a while and be unsettled. Who cares? You know?
Yeah.
And then after a while, you might want to bring them back to home base, and they go, "Oh, okay.
Oh,
what
have you been doing here this whole time? Where are you?"
And you bring them back to the matrix and get them back
to
math or social studies or whatever the topic of the day was, and get back to what you were doing. And you just work it that way. But it's always this process of settling. And I'm sure settling comes from our horse talk.
Oh, most definitely. Humor and love.
Settled. And by the way, I'll type it in here. There's a documentary named Buck.
Easy to remember.
CK. The C is a horseshoe on its side.
Right. Yeah.
It's really cute. So, but it's about a horse. Actually, he's the horse whisperer that was the trainer for the movie The Horse Whisperer. So, and so that just so you know, it's really good. It's really good, and you'll see how he goes about settling horses. But Bradaman, you bet.
Branahan, that's it, Austin. You got it.
I am fortunate enough, Austin. I've met him, so you'll hear it. You'll hear him go through a list of places he visits if you watch, and one of them is Limerick, Maine. He'll say Limerick, Maine. Well, he's been coming to Limerick, Maine for over 20 years, and so I went down there one time and saw him. Got to visit with him a little bit, and some other horse whisperers actually. They're more common than you know. People who are very good at settling horses, training horses in a very gentle way, and so that's sort of the choice you're making, right, Phil? Are you going to Are you going to use the whip and chair technique?
Yeah. Or you're going to go influence.
Or you're going to influence and settle.
Right.
And,
command and control versus influence.
Right. That's the choice. So the command and control is sort of it still is the dominant way of doing horse training too, folks. So it's the gentle influence way, the Buck Brannaman way is less common than the command and control. And I think that's probably true in the classroom as well.
Oh, well, yes.
Phil
anybody else want to weigh
Phil can be more of a subject matter expert on that than I.
Yeah, this is how you can be a student whisperer is kind of the idea here.
It's basically being a student whisperer.
Yeah.
Yes.
In my classroom, you got it. That's it. My classroom. Right.
I like the my.
Yeah. my. Not to go.
But I also recommend a soul. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. That's on my list, Melinda.
We watched it right when it came out on Christmas Day or whatever.
Yeah, I gotta watch it.
It's a fun watch.
Yeah.
She's right. It is a fun watch. Well done.
Yeah. But back to what Tina just said there, if you do this enough with a class, you basically deputize everybody in the class to do the matrix.
Yeah, they're all.
So you're going to find at some point that someone's going to do it.
Yeah, they'll jump up and do it for you.
Which is another way cool thing to do. You know, somebody might volunteer to do the matrix with the class.
And you can say, hey, anybody want to volunteer to do the matrix with the class? You can even ask, or
just like that,
or whatever. And students, or if you're working in a clinic or something with group members will get up and do it.
Absolutely, all the time.
All the time. It's really cool.
Then it becomes our class, our group.
Our exactly.
Shared purpose
stuff. And so, once again, getting away from the command and control.
Yeah.
It's Melinda, it's a fun idea, and I've done a bunch of it. It's really a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. And the people that get up to do it.
It'll change your life.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. You know, Buck says that in the movie, in his documentary at the end. He's talking about you go about doing it this way, and it'll change your life. You know, it'll change how you do things. One of the things that they talk about, and Phil and I have come up with a lot, is they talk about making the right thing easy to do.
Yep. And how do you make the right thing easy to do?
How do you make the right thing easy to do? And of course, in a classroom, the right thing, and I don't mean to be judgmental, but of course, we got to learn, you know. We need our reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Oh yeah, they know they're there. They want to be. They
know, and so well, then how do you go about making that easy to do?
Easy to do.
And that's the nature of this work. And then it's influencing, and whips and chairs don't usually lead to easy.
No, people go hiding. They go hiding, or they start throwing stuff at you, or
that doesn't work out for you.
Yep.
So, but it's fun. So this is fun stuff, but that's settling.
Yeah.
And by the way, let's teach them a little bit of RFT. Anybody want? No, I'll ask you. Does anybody want to learn a little RFT?
Oh,
Austin says sure.
All right.
I don't know. Is this one enough? Only one person wants to learn a little.
Got one that says yes. Anybody else weighing in?
Tina said, I got two now. Okay. We're approaching a critical mass.
Yeah, I was going to say that's close to a core. Melinda says yes. Mary, there you go.
Well, the good news here is you already know this. Yeah. I'm just going to point.
That's amazing. That's amazing, isn't it?
I'm going to go point to something you already know. Right. That you're already using. Okay.
There it is.
So where's the question? There's the question. Okay. So RFT, the R stands for relational. And that just means that everything gets related to everything else inside your head. You know, it's wicked easy to do. To learn language, we relate sounds to first sensory experiences and then mental experiences. And so the sounds, and it's literally called, if you go read the relational frame stuff, it's called a relational network, you know, of all the stuff that a word or a phrase is related to. Okay. And so in a relational network, you can use words that are stickier than others within that network. Let's put it that way. So you choose your words. You choose your sticky words. And a lot of people think, they start judging. They think, oh, a sticky word is a bad word. No. Mom is a very sticky word, and it's not bad for a lot of people, unless you were raised by that mommy dearest lady. But Betty, but that's a movie. Don't worry. So what you're doing with this settling with humans is you're using words to set off a relational network. That's relational frame theory. Okay, and so that means that if I presented one of these words or a series, let's say, who's important to you? Stop. Now I say, I'm going to give you a computer test, Melinda, and I'm going to flash a word up at you on my computer screen, and you simply type a, like a right-hand key over here if it's a word, and a left-hand key over here if it's not a word. And Melinda says, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can.
Easy.
And so now, after having asked the question, who's important to you, I flash up the word mom and go back down. What do you think? Your response to mom is faster after I've set the context with who's important to you? This experiment's already been done, folks, so I don't have to run it. What do you think, though? So I prime, it's called a prime. I prime with who's important to you. And then one of the stimulus words is mom. And on average, people will recognize mom as a word faster than if I had not primed with who's important to you. Showing us that experimentally that relational network is now primed. So the person's cognition is primed. This is how you do experiments with relational frame theory. This is how it's done. And so now, or at least one of the ways that it's done. And so now, why in the world would Kevin and Phil, or one of you, want to go in and prime a virtual classroom with the words, who's important to you? What are they going to be more readily, cognitively, what words are going to be more readily available to your students? What do you think? They haven't even responded to you yet.
Yeah, right.
You just asked the question.
They don't even need to respond to you. It's already happened.
Recess, lovely. You want them thinking about recess. Good idea. Right, because you want them settled, right? Right.
Relatives, that's it, right.
Exactly. And now you understand where this warm glow starts to come over you. I feel better already. I feel lighter. I feel that. That's where that's coming from, is that priming effect. It's called a priming effect. And so you're priming the relational network. So now you are also learned that you forevermore will be going into classrooms and you will be thinking about how you're going to be priming their relational networks. And if you want to have a bad day, you can go in and say, hey,
too. Yeah.
you got your homework done, and we're going to have a pop quiz. Now, what does that prime and get them ready for? You know the answer to this. So all of this exactly yucky stuff. Let's just call it yucky stuff. It primes up yucky stuff, and this understand that this is applied RFT. This is functional RFT. Did we put that down in functional flexibility, functional RFT? This is how you use it, how you think about RFT. Yep. There's other ways to do it.
Then I just put in your appetitives and aversives there, Kevin.
Right. Oh, there we go. So lots of that appetitive, those words that have to do with friends and mom and stuff like that have been learned in an appetitive context. All based on functional contextualism, where many other words have been learned, many other words have been learned in a aversive context. And so you can go set your audience up in an aversive context or an appetitive one. Which ones are more fun to work with?
Ooh, I know.
I've run this experiment live.
I know.
I don't know why even wants to guess.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay.
Which context? What do you want to set them up? How do you want to set them up?
Competitive. Hey.
People are more warm fuzzy over there. A lot less likely to bite you.
Oh, yeah. More likely to go with you.
They follow along rather than kick and bite and stuff.
Right.
So that's what you're doing, and you're using words. You're carefully using words to set that context. And in this case, we're also using a picture. By the way, the two cross lines are actually is one of the first drawings you ever made. More than likely, it was one of your early drawings.
Yeah, I think developmentally, like 3 or 4.
Developmentally, it turns out that one of the first things kids draw, and we don't even remember drawing it, but we draw a cross line.
Yeah.
and so that means it's familiar. It's these cross lines, and you run across them in life lots, crosshairs and graphs and
windows
and this and that. So they're very familiar. So they're sort of naturally soothing. Right. And so
that makes so much sense. Yeah.
Well, you're not using. It looks like magic, but you're just using science.
Yep.
And it just makes it look like magic. It sort of feels sort of magical, but it's all rooted out of science. So fun stuff. It's fun stuff. So there you go. That's a little bit of RFT. So you're really using RFT when you do this. And as I said, when you're feeling in an ornery mood, walk into a room and set it up as aversive.
Oh, yeah. That's a fun experiment.
You're just like, I want to have a bad day.
Yeah, really. I want to use my yucky stuff.
I'm in the mood for a bad day.
Really?
I'll just start over here. I really don't know how many times people would do that. That's not a good idea.
You're making me think. Someone who's not noticing, Kevin, could walk into a classroom in the context of being in a bad mood. And before you know it, they're saying homework and pop quiz, and then they got a revolution going on their hands after a little while. And
so part of what we're doing here is we're paying careful attention to our own moods.
Exactly.
And but we don't have to worry about it because we're just going to use the same opening.
Right.
We're just going to. We're not going to change the opening. That way doesn't matter.
The mood becomes irrelevant at that point.
Right. We're just going to use the same opening.
Right.
We don't have to worry about our own.
And in the context of using that same opening, the mood just is going along for the ride.
So what you learned is that when you ask a question, who's important to you, you stimulate people's appetitive relational network.
You're warming them up.
And now you've increased the probability
that
they'll come along with you.
Yep.
Otherwise,
whatever you want to do.
Now they're settled down.
Yep.
That's what you're doing. Fun stuff. And if anybody starts saying, "Oh my God, you're I don't know, you're influencing others or you're manipulating them or something," if you utter a word, you're influencing people.
Yep.
It's you choose how you influence. You will influence. The choice becomes how you want to influence. And so we're just very careful about how we're going to do that influence. Yeah. We like to do it this way. Gets people going. Now later on, to give you a little teaser, you're also setting people up for an increased probability of creativity. But we'll show you that. You come by the course.
Yeah,
come
to the course, and we'll get into that.
We'll show you how you're setting that.
Yeah,
up. You can do that a little more. You can turn up the volume on that a little bit. Okay, that's it.
That's
it.
We did it.
Blown another perfectly good hour.
We have. All right, yeah. So try it out. Go settle some classes. See what happens.
Go settle them down. Or horses too. But say with horses, you only got behaviors.
Yeah.
Words, they don't really know.
Nudges and pats, right?
Bye
All
bye.
right, we'll see ya. Take care. Stay safe.